that's the thing. So with the
Got them on?
Yep.
with the what you call it, with the with it being Texas and it being a community property state, I have clients who take, because they have, like, let's say they have a lot, one of the partners has a lot of student loan debt. And so in order for them to still qualify for the abatement or the income-based repayment, I go in and I take all of their income, put it together, and then split it up in a way. Now they still file separately, but I can add a form to the return where they get to split their money up in a way that person's return still qualifies them as low income. So let's say if you make 100, your partner make 150, that's 250. But y'all can get together and say, okay, it's 250, but I'ma just file 50, and he gonna file 200.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
and so you might owe a little tax money at the end of the year, but you still get to have that income-based repayment plan. Like, that's how you get to kind of skip this ways, like shit like that people do to kind of skirt around a lot of this shit they be looking at.
Man, rappers not supposed to be talking like that.
Right on.
Rappers not supposed to be talking like that.
That's what I heard.
That's what they say, huh?
I mean, that's what, it's been told to us. That's what we see.
The game's to be told.
But right now, we see a different outlook, a different look on what rap should be like. Y'all got new music out, but as we just heard in that conversation, this isn't just rap with y'all, right?
For sure.
Yeah, it's more than that, man. It's movement music. It's a movement. I would call it that personally.
Yeah.
And we are more than just rappers.
Well, clearly
That's
that.
the other part.
Yeah.
That's the secret sauce.
Yeah.
Now, just for the audience sake, we got to find out, who is the Hue? As of right now, 2025, who is the Hue? What's the mission?
Hey, we get started with me. Equality, 1/3 of the Hue. The Hue is hip hop, it's soul, it's the tradition of black music. It's a mix of everything. It's a gumbo of sounds. Yeah, we do rap, but it is a soul element. We have a singer that can sing and that can rap. I look at it as we're writers.
More than anything.
Yeah.
And in terms of the singing, if this is supposed to be a rap group, what's the point of having a singer in this group? What's the point?
That's interesting. So, first of all, I'm Alicia, the second third of the group. I am the singer / rapper, but I think I agree with what Equality said in that I am first and foremost a songwriter. And so, being that I live and breathe songwriting, that opens me up to being able to do any and everything. I think adding the element of melody, to a rap group is absolutely imperative. Like, you got to think about where all of these genres come from and where they all where they're born from. Like, hip hop was not born from just the drums, and you have, when you put it all together musically, that's where you get the beat from. And so then for us to put it together in the human form, we're able to give something very unique, something that people haven't seen in a long time.
Does it feel natural to you, though? Like,
Yeah.
if you're a singer, you're known more for singing.
Yeah.
With these guys here, you're rapping more. How natural does it
I'll
come?
say this. I don't feel like a singer in a group of two rappers.
Okay.
It feels like three artists.
Okay.
What they do is very much different from just your your run-of-the-mill rap. And it's thoughtful, it's poignant, and that makes it art. And so I feel like this is a group of curators of art. And so we do things differently. Like, this is a poet, and to me it's understanding that. For me, it's a little different from, and I'll say, I grew up in Houston, so I have been on, I done came down and I done came through.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I grew up in Houston.
Okay.
I done sang on some of them too.
Okay.
But in this space, it definitely feels more intentional. Like what they do is more intentional. What they write is more intentional. And so I feel like it fits writing for me.
Well, let's talk about intentional art, Sav.
Yep.
Because you, years ago, started a platform with Peace of Mind, which the Hue is obviously transformed to what it is now.
Right on.
But what is your purpose of this intentional art? Like, how are you looking at it right now in 2025?
Yeah, in 2003, I had a vision for a platform, and I called it Peace of Mind Entertainment. And the mission for Peace of Mind Entertainment was the exposure of progressive artistry. And so that was the mission, and it's still the mission to this day. So it was a platform for the exposure of progressive art, and specifically coming out of Houston. Yeah. So Houston wasn't in the mission, but that was the actual core. That was the root of it. And so, you know, Houston is known for certain things artistically and creatively. And I thought it was shameful that, you know, so much got overlooked. And I was like, man, that was such a plethora of so many styles and creative forces and voices that hadn't been heard and needed to be heard. And so the mission of Peace of Mind was to put on as many people as we knew that kind of showed the true diversity and the true range of artistry that comes out of this city.
Now, as a collective, you guys aren't new, so to speak. This is not your first year coming out. Although as a collective, this is the first release. And we're talking about colored only. Some would say, why now? Why put this release out right now? You guys have been together how long now?
This formation of the Hue has been together, about 10 years now? About a decade.
I was about to say, yeah, how old is King? Is 10? Yeah, 10.
Yeah.
10 years.
Who is that?
King is 10.
Who is King?
King is, that's our mascot.
That's the mascot. Okay, he's not here right now?
He's not here right now.
Yeah, all right, well, shout out to King, wherever he is.
He's out in Austin doing amazing things.
So why now? Like, why put out an album right now, a release?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that because, some of this project has been pretty much cooked and marinated for a minute already.
Okay.
For me, I feel like as a collective, like a lot of things we've done in the past has been ahead of its time. So in my mind, I feel like we were waiting for the world to catch up with us and waiting for the right time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Colored Only is the name of the project. Some people might ask, why the older term Colored Only? What would your explanation be on that?
Yeah, one is us being from the South and looking at the times of what in the legacy of Black people in particular in the South, and going through segregation and understanding there was a time when it was a white only fountain, a colored only fountain, a white only entrance, a colored only entrance. And it was us just kind of taking back and redefining what that means as people of color or Black people. And just taking that back and showing the strength in it. The times that we're living in, everyone wants the colored side now.
Explain that. Well, what would explain that?
They want the flavor. They want the aesthetic of what they would have called colored back during that time.
Yeah.
Everyone wants that now. They want to stand next to that. They want to have some type of association with that. So we're just kind of taking it back and saying, hey, okay, this is for us. This is by us.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, we're musicians, we're artists, so it's for everyone to listen to. But in particular, the music that we're making is a celebration of Blackness. Okay. We're celebrating our Blackness.
Now, I mean, obviously, celebrating Blackness has been, at least before our current administration, seemed like it was a thing, right? Some might say it was natural, some might say it wasn't natural. Someone gets this album, this project, and they look at it from what you just said. How do they know that this is just a natural thing that you're putting out and not,
I think it's a marriage. It's a marriage of the two things that they both said, right?
Okay.
So one of the main reasons that we kind of waited to put the project out was because we didn't want it to seem performative, right? We didn't want it to seem performative because this is who we are, and this is who we are every day. And so it was very important for us, the timing of when it was released, because we didn't want people to misconstrue what we were doing as some money grab in the midst of all of this, you know, new, fun, hey, black people are cool, let's be inclusive thing. And so from our perspective, choosing a time where I think choosing the time that we did kind of lends itself a little to that too, but also the name and the theme of the album also is where we live in a time, and have for 400 plus years, where everything that they throw at us that they intend to be negative, we flip and make it fly, right? Like, that's just what we do as a people. And so this project and the name of this project is more of the same. Everything that you try to insult us with, we just make it fly, we flip it, and now you want it back. And so essentially that's all of this is the culmination of that. But it's important for us to understand that no matter how we feel, you know, understanding the time and the place is very important, and understanding the climate that you're in is very important. And right now is the perfect time, we feel.
The album was released on Juneteenth. You know,
Okay.
in the theme of liberation. You know, we didn't want to make this a depressing album, and that's why we like to use the term celebration, man. With black people, you know, we know how to celebrate, we know how to have a good time, but it's in the words of the teacher, KRS-One, edutainment.
Yeah, of course. And then you start the EP off with Keep On.
Yeah.
Keep On is a up-tempo track.
Yeah, the affirmation.
Yeah. Sam, I want to ask you, because I have played this in front of people, and they didn't know who you were as a group, but they asked, is this a Christian rap group? So can you kind of break down, going over, you know, the churches in Houston, what that influence, what that whole idea was behind that verse?
Yeah, so when I first listened to the track, right, so I don't like listening to be a rapper, right? I listen to see what the music is telling me.
Okay.
And when I first heard the beat, which is provided by the illustrious Georgia Ann Muldrow, shout out to her.
Shout out to Georgia Ann.
Yeah, she came through and blessed us with some joints, man, and that was the first track we picked. And I remember when I heard it, and I was just vibing to it, and then I was hearing that quote from Andre 3000 from AT Aliens. I forgot the actual song, where he says, "On fire like the Georgia Mass Choir, we keep on singing." And anytime I come up with a hook, I always try to tie my verse back to the hook in one way or another. And so it shouts out Georgia Mass Choir, right? And so, and then the theme of the song is keep on. So we pushing forward in spite of whatever our circumstances is, you know what I mean, at the time, right? And so I think as a group, as a collective, we were in a space where it was time to move on and pivot, or kind of chart a new direction and territory. And so I think the spirit a lot of times that we see when it comes to like the black church experience is like, it's like uplifting. It's like, you know, keep on, keep pushing no matter what. And so I tried to channel that energy. When I came up with my verse or whatever. So yeah, I shouted out a lot of churches that's in the city, you know what I mean? And so, but no, it's not a Christian. We're not a Christian rap group. Yeah, that's not our element. Georgia Mass Choir, then the name dropping of the churches. That's just the connection between the chorus and the verse.
And Alicia, this is kind of your coming out party in terms of rapping.
Yeah.
Was there any pressure when you wrote that verse?
For sure.
Talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. It was, I mean, these guys come from a very, very well-known, very, very well-respected, you know, legacy of hip-hop in the city, you know, for sure, and nationally, honestly. Like, HISD is legendary. And so to be in this space, you know, honored to be invited, but also, you know, that's when you kind of, now you got to sit down and you got to turn it on, because don't make them regret the invite. Like, show these motherfuckers why you here. Show, because also the way that, you know, this, you know, iteration of the group kind of happened was a little controversial. So for me, it was more of, okay, it's time for me to kind of step into a space where it's like, okay, this is more than just some cute girl from Houston that can sing. Like, oh no, she's talented. And so I sat down with, you know, my best friend and sometimes writing partner, Michelle Tebow, and we listened to the music for a few days, and she was like, yeah, you're going to kill it. You got it. You know, and sometimes, and a lot of times, even if she's not writing with me, she's just in the room, and because she can say, yeah, no, you know, because sometimes you need somebody to, like, in a space like this, I'm like, look, when I bring this verse back to the studio, I don't want I don't want no notes in the room, right? Like, I don't want no notes.
Of course.
And so that means that I have to write it and give all the notes myself and rewrite until I know when I hit the studio and I record this thing, the room will have no notes.
Well, see, with Keep On, I always look at it like you guys were all able to kind of display who you were at that time. EQ, you bring out your poetry side and transition into your verse. What was the thought behind that? Did you initially want to do that going in, or was just something you was like, you know, this would be something creative to do on this track?
Man, I don't know if Sal remembers, but when we were going over the song, and we had that spot at the end of Alicia's part.
At the end of my verse.
And we needed to fill it. My inspiration was P-Funk, George Clinton.
Okay.
And just listening to how a lot of his stuff would sound like poetry. It would be, you know, so it's just kind of, you know, getting in that mode of what would George Clinton do? Something like a P-Funk, you know, kinky comedic, you know.
Okay.
So it's just kind of getting into that mode. So I was really inspired by P-Funk, George Clinton.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Keep On, again, that was the first track, and it does kind of set the stage for the rest of the project. The next thing that you get into is Media Social. Now, me personally, I think Media Social is one of the tracks that I don't think enough people have heard and understand how important it is. This track probably was not done in 2025, but is more important in 2025 than anything. Talk about Media Social, the point behind it, how it can be applied to modern day society.
It personifies what Sav said, being ahead.
Yeah.
You know, being ahead.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You know, being ahead and looking at where the for one to play on words, you know, Media Social instead of social media is one thing from a creative standpoint. And then the other part is just us looking at where this is going. And I think we, you know, we did a pretty good job of prophesizing where it was going. And then for people that don't know, having the visuals is us kind of showing social media. So just the play off of looking at from our perspective of what was going on. That's one of my favorite songs.
Now, I mean, does this track, have y'all caught flack for this track, man? Has it been people that's like, man, you talking about me? Like, I mean, is it, I mean, because it's kind of a direct thing, and it's more of a, you know, if the shoe fits, wear it sort of situation. Have y'all had any of that?
I've had a few people that was like, are y'all, you know, like, are y'all talking about people that use social media? Like, they took it personal. You know, it's commentary. It's commentary, you know. When Luke was calling y'all whatever, you know, y'all found an excuse to say he not talking about me.
Right.
So, you know, use that same methodology. If it don't apply, then, you know, let it fly. But it's our commentary on what's going on.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, I think I haven't heard any negative feedback. I have gotten a lot of feedback specifically from ladies about my verse.
Yeah, I mean, you do start the verse off like you're speaking from the perspective of someone.
But you know what, though? I feel like, though, because my verse is from the perspective of like I'm just a regular girl,
right?
And here I am doom scrolling, as you will, on the internet, and I'm looking at all this stuff, and this is so unrealistic. And just finally somebody saying it out loud, like, this is unrealistic.
Right.
That's not your face. These pictures are from 16 years ago when you went on these trips. Like, bro, stop trying to make me feel bad for not being able to go out of town every week when you don't go out of town every week.
Right.
And so I think most of the feedback that I've heard were from people who feel the same way, who are like, thank goodness somebody said it, because I've been saying it for years. Like, everything you see on the tiny TV screen in your hand and on the screen in your house is not real. It's fake. Influencers is the same way. Their job is to keep you watching. And so by whatever means that they have to do that, if the girl has to use 16 filters to look like a totally different person, then that's what she's gonna do. If somebody has to take a trip in 2019 and still be dropping pictures in 2025 from the trip they took in 2019 to call themselves a travel influencer, then that's what they gotta do. And that's their job, you know? So it's like, it just sucks because that a part of their job is to make other people feel inferior. And so it was just kind of really important for me to hear people say, I was laughing at that part where you said, we know that ain't your face, but I feel it. I love that. It was so, they really connected with it, and that was the important part.
Sav, you talk about a lot of the fake haters, and then like I was like, man, I kind of applaud it, because it's like people need those fake haters just to.
Yeah, man. You know, like, it's funny, Jay-Z had the record Imaginary Players back in '96, and then now hater became this big thing. And so I'm thinking, man, that's like, everybody thinks somebody's hating on them. So I'm like, who is it that's really hating on you in real life? It must be imaginary haters. That's why my line says, are these imaginary haters just figments of your imagination? And so, yeah, it's crazy. Like during the time when we made the song, I was just basically just kind of just documenting my observation of what was going on with social media. And I was like, it kind of, as time evolves and things like that, you see like, man, I kind of even missed the early days of social media when it was just people just being themselves on social media. And now it feels like everybody's trying to be a content creator per se. So everybody's trying to make it a job or a hustle, as opposed to just kind of showing little quirky things or idiosyncrasies about your life. So that makes it different. But I mean, I love what EQ said on the end of his verse, and they'll be going Insta Live when your casket drops to the death. I was like, man, dog, that just kind of, that was so tough to me, you know what I mean? And then I was like, and that's reality. And then, but man, when Alicia came through and dropped her verse, I was like, that's it. We got this shit. I was like,
that was one of my favorite verses, man.
It was like, it was her and her element, and I just got, I literally got goosebumps when she dropped her verse. I was like, she just kind of just summed it all up like so perfectly, you know what I mean? But from a different perspective that me and E approached it from, and that's the beauty of having three different, like, truly like creative minds in one group. You know what I mean?
The verse, the stream of consciousness of her verse, and being able to, the melody of singing and integrating a rhyme scheme, but the idea of her, when people listen to the song, to get the perspective of her thoughts. And then it's like, oh, she's driving. All of this is going through my head now. Oh, let me get back to the, hey, I'm going somewhere on 59 and I'm trying to see Africa before I close my eyes. Like just the stream of consciousness in the middle of the song was really dope.
Well, it seems like you all, you do these songs, your identity is clear. You will speak on societal issues such as social media. You guys own that. And so now we get to the track Own It. And this, to me, this track kind of felt more like this is the moment where you all can kind of get your shit off. Talk about Own It and the process behind, or the thought, I should say, behind the Own It track.
For me, and I'm gonna alley-oop this to Sav, it starts with the chorus, and Sav, I gotta say, he
yeah, buddy.
He gave us that chorus. So Sav, I'm gonna alley-oop it to you, that chorus. I don't know where it came from, but it hit. It was on point.
Yeah, man, it's just it's crazy. Like, we made these songs a little while back or whatever, but to me, I always say we're in the era of authenticity. And then just kind of feeding off a segue and off of media social, we're kind of calling out the behaviors and, the people behaviors of social media. And then it's like, okay, so people are kind of faking the front, you know what I mean? But okay, if you flossing it, so do you own it? Do you really own it? And then too, like, the play on words is like being on it. So like being socially aware or whatever. So having that duality to owning it, owning it, like fiscally owning it, as well as like, just knowing who you are as a person and to the core, like, who are you? You know what I mean?
Are you 100?
Are you 100? Are you putting the 2 on the 10 on it, as they would say? Are you putting the 2 on the 10? You know what I mean? So put 100 on it, man. So if you're gonna be about it, make sure you live in it and make sure you own it.
Now, one of the things that kind of drove that song home for me was the video. and the video for Own It, for Media Social, for Keep On. Who did y'all go to for the visuals on that?
Oh man, shout out to my man Snap,
boy Snap.
Poetic Visuals Media. Yeah, make sure y'all follow that on Instagram and
Okay.
everything. Yeah. My man Snap, man, he was the cinematographer behind Own It.
Okay.
Behind Keep On.
Right.
And what else? We had
Media
another.
Social?
Media Social.
Media
Yeah.
Social.
So basically, we like to kind of keep it in a certain pocket. You know what I mean? Because I think he understood the vision.
Yeah.
And the context of the songs that we were trying to deliver, man. And that dude there, he's so fucking amazing with his creativity and the way
shout out
he
to-
executes on the visuals. He's a visual genius, amongst other things. Yeah, for
Shout
sure.
out to Snap.
Yeah.
Now you guys took a little bit of a 180 with the last visual that you had, which was for Sun Ra. Now this is definitely up tempo. I mean, you know, like no one can listen to this and not feel it. Talk about Sun Ra and what you hope to accomplish with that song, as it is currently a single.
With the visual for Sunrise, so again, we tried something totally new with Sunrise as far as jumping into that higher BPM range, doing the house formatted record. And so I was like, well, why don't we do something different visual? So we have our kind of template that we use for making videos, or a format that we kind of follow for making actual videos. So I was like, well, why not try animation? I've never done that before. I thought it was a cool concept. And yeah, we had at our disposal phenomenal animation artist, Monet Rideau, and she had her intern also. I mean, I feel so bad I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but Monet and her intern delivered. It took some time though, because this was not AI, by the way. She literally hand by hand, frame by frame, drew everything that you see in the Sunrise video. So shout out to that sister for bringing that animation to life for the Hue.
Dope.
Amazing. I think this was, you know, because this is my first spin with the Hue, but not my first time releasing music as an artist, right? And so this kind of felt really, really natural for me. I've done house records. I've released some records on Go Diva in London. I've done some work with Chris Samba. And so this was an opportunity for me to be like, okay, yeah, now I get to just kind of sing and just kind of flow and just kind of let things just kind of move. And so this was one of those records where I was able to just kind of flow. And so the concept was very, like he said, it was a no-brainer. It's like the people of the sun. And so this was one of those things for me. It's like it's house music, so it's got to feel like a party. But, you know, what are we celebrating? We're celebrating being the most dopest humans on the planet. Like,
I think you also all should get credit for creating the track too that's for the DJs, because that track, you let DJs get into it. You definitely let them get out of it, because it's nothing but a groove at the end. Was that intentional, or did that just kind of happen by happenstance?
it's house. You gotta let it breathe.
Right.
Like you gotta anticipate that the people are gonna move, and you gotta give them room to do that. Like if this record was 3.5 minutes long, it would be a tragedy.
Right.
Like you just couldn't do that in that time period.
This is the longest record on the project.
That's
Intentionally.
that's what I like about it, because we jumped up there. We jumped towards the 120 BPMs on that one or whatever. But you also got to remember, every time you approach, in my mind, when you approach making records, your voice is just an instrument to complement the other instruments or whatever. So the instruments are telling a story too. Right. Rhythm of the drums. It's the house. The drum is driving, the tempo and the pace of that track. So we got to let the drums talk. You know what I mean? Right. That's the tradition. Of our people. So and then house does allow you to have those spaces where it's just the instrumental breakdowns and all that kind of stuff. So that made it much easier for us to let the track do a lot of the work. You know what I mean? And give it that space. We only had eight bar verses, I think, myself and Equality, and same with Alicia. And then she had the chorus as well or whatever. But it's like if you listen to the song, it's like a 4 minute. How long is it? 6 minutes?
I want to say it's probably about 5
minutes. 5 minutes, something like that or whatever. But like if you think about the vocal parts, like every time when I listen to it, I'm like, oh, the vocal is already done. Yeah. And then it's like the track is doing the rest You know, so that's like the beauty of that format. And two, that's a new format we hadn't never done before.
Yeah, I've never heard
the
that
Hue.
from
so,
you. Yeah.
You know, to me, I like challenges. And so
Yeah,
to me,
no
that
doubt.
was a challenge that we took head on. And I love the way we executed that. And so, yeah, I look forward to doing more stuff that challenges us in that way, you know? Yeah.
I think one of the most rhythmic tracks on this Colored Only EP is People's Party. And
It's my jam.
People's Party,
Yeah.
let's get into that because, you know, I hear the back and forth between Sav and EQ on there, very reminiscent of like a Jadakiss and Chic Luch. Talk about People's Party. A lot of people are loving that track.
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, shout out to Marshawn Lynch. If you listen to a lot of the phrasing
Okay.
in People's Party, you're here, you know what I'm here for. You're here, Beast Mode. And what else? This shout out to this for all my real Africans. You know what I mean?
I never picked up on that.
Those are all quotes from Marshawn Lynch, the former running back for the Seattle Seahawks
Right.
out of the Bay Area. So, man, that brother there gave us kind of we got to give him some credit. He might be a
Are we
co-writer.
saying officially here that Marshawn Lynch is the reason?
It was the inspiration for the
He's
hook,
the
definitely.
inspiration.
Wow.
Yeah, but
we
it's a
going
play.
beast mode.
Yeah. But it's definitely a play on, you know, the Black Panther Party. Like,
Yeah.
you know, let's call it what it is. You know, the People's Party, Black Panther Party. And so we took those themes and made it into like a celebration, as the whole theme of the Colored Only record is.
Yeah.
A celebration of the Black experience, you know what I mean? So yeah, the back and forth, Alicia has a back and forth part on there too.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, the approach to the track was, that was that's the only track on the record where we didn't have like the breakouts. We didn't have the stems. We didn't have the parts separated.
Okay.
So we had to take the 2-track record as it was, and then we had to tailor our voices around what was available. So we couldn't, you know, alter it up or switch it up. We had to take what was given and play with it. You know what I mean? So you'll see a lot of back and forth. We had to keep it interesting. You know, I wanted different voices coming in and out. Even sometimes at the end of the hook, we let Alicia say one part, and then or she'll jump in, and then you know, we had the A-bar back and forth verses with each part, and then there's like, it's almost like it's like a hook, and then I don't want to call it a bridge, but it's like a second hook. You know what I mean? And so it's like we got like vamps, hooks, verse, like that.
You engrave it. You engrave the
Yeah.
name of the song. And like, it's hard not to, between Sun Ra and People's Party, it's hard not to not know the hook. It's
Yeah.
engraved in you. Part of it. People don't. You talk about the 2 tracks though. Let's go over how did you get these tracks, because this is produced by Georgia and Muldrow. But was she in the studio with you all, or how did that collaboration even happen? How was she able to even provide what she did for you guys?
Well, first off, we got to give a major shout out to DJ Elevated and now Mookie Copeland, who are some dope brothers. They have this movement called Soul Control, movement-based healing, and they throw some of the dopest parties in the city, man. So yeah, shout out to those brothers. They threw a show here, and they brought Georgia down at the time, and while she was here, you know, we got a chance to connect with Georgia through DJ Elevated and Mookie Copeland. Okay. And so, you know, we brought her to our studio. You know, we brought her to the shop, and we got to build with her. You know what I mean? So during that time building with her, you know, we talked about, you know, doing some records with her and all that. And so she had a hard drive with some stuff already like cooked up. And
really?
We was like, okay, well, let's just see what you got. And shit, we like, damn, that sound good. Yeah. That sound dope. That's banging. Yeah. So we was like, man, let's just go ahead and take those joints and run with it. But yeah, with People's Part, that shit just felt so good, man. I couldn't. It's like, I was like, I don't know what we're gonna do with this. I remember when I heard it first, I was like, I don't know what the hell we're gonna do with this and what we're gonna make of it, but we got to do something with it.
But in putting the songs together, so she was not in the studio with you guys while this was being put together.
We got the music, and then, you know.
The music came from a culmination of a very long cipher, if you will, just kind of in here, building with her. Really talking about, I mean, we talked about everything, like life all the way around. Like the energy was in a really, really, really cool space. It wasn't just like, hello, how are you? Here's some money. I'll have some beats, thank you. It was a very, very, very interesting time period like that we got to spend with her. And
Right.
then from that, you know, we got to take home some music.
And when y'all took home this music, basically you guys put together this album.
We had to come up with the hooks, with, you know, the concepts. All we had was the music.
Okay.
So yeah, we had to pull out our paint brushes and paint over that canvas, and you get that colored only. You know?
Now, Keep On, there's a remix. Did Georgia Ann do that as well?
So yeah, the remix, the Fish and Grits mix was done by Nate the Beat Breaker.
Okay.
I mean, that brother's an amazing musician, producer, drummer. So yeah, he's rocked with so many of the greats of our time. And so, you know, we have a connection with him through Alicia. And and so, hey, we was like, man, we need to kind of flip this in a certain type of way. But yeah, Nate the Beat Breaker actually kind of gave us that sauce for the Fish and Grits alternative mix for Keep On. So yeah, shout out to that brother.
Now, I mean, with this being a shorter project, EQ had mentioned earlier how he was loving verses from Alicia. Do you guys have any favorite verses from each other on any of these songs?
Man, you brought up Keep On. For Sav,
That's my favorite verse.
I mean, he said strange fruit.
Yeah.
Fall close to the roots.
Yeah.
You know, if you know the history of the Billie Holiday song "Strange Fruit" and what that means and how it actually ties into the rhyme scheme with the churches, and
Right.
you brought up, you know, the commentary. I looked at it as if in hip hop, people shout out neighborhoods, they shout out boroughs, they shout out where they're from, but to hear shout outs to actual churches, I haven't heard that in hip hop.
That is true. That's yeah.
You know, it was a new way of shouting it out, and it's integrated into the fabric of talking about the Southern experience and talking about, you know, Sav as being the preacher. Like this is me at the pulpit, like I'm preaching.
Yeah,
you know, and he mentions it in the verse, preaching to the same choir that I'm singing with. You know,
Right,
and it's him basically saying, hey, we're here. I'm Minister Sav.
Right.
I'm giving y'all my sermon.
Yeah.
You know, and the blues and the hues, you know, and really taking charge. But yeah, that Keep On, man. The way Sav started it off, just to let people know, a lot of people, they listen to us, and sometimes they get a little, they don't know where we're from.
Right. Right.
Let me just say that.
Yeah.
Even though it's in the name, they're not used to hearing it this kind of way sometimes, coming from the region that we're from.
Right.
So for Sav to say that and us to touch down with the Southern roots to begin the album.
Yeah.
Alicia, what's your favorite?
Yeah, he definitely jacked mine, but I for reasons that are a little different. But I feel like that was the most "I'm so Houston" verse without him saying "I'm so Houston." Like it was one of those "if you know" ass verses, and I love that.
Sav, what about you, man?
Man, there's so many quotables. It's like, man, I could go on and on, but definitely EQ. I love, actually, both of their performances on Media Social. Like, they cooked me on that. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. They was just, they both was on so much fire on that one, man. Like I said, I got goosebumps when I heard Alicia's voice, her the writing, voice and the writing on Media Social, and just the whole verse was just so. You know, I think there's beauty in simplicity. Like the way she said things was like so direct, and just so vivid at the same time. Like I love the feeling that I got when every time I listen to that verse. And EQ, you know, I forgot what the actual bar about the Photoshop.
God don't like
you
the
ugly,
girl,
girl,
you better Photoshop.
Girl, you better Photoshop. I was like, yeah, just the wordplay, and then even on. Sun Ra, you know, the space is the place, which is a play on the actual name of the Sun Ra record. Yeah. The way EQ starts off that verse, the Miles, the Lena Horns play today. So I'm like, you know, just I love the wordplay. on that, and then like to me it's just the feeling like actually hearing them on that back and forth on the keep on the way that we bang when we swing and then when she adds her vocal on top of EQ.
That's the cheat code, man. Like because I cannot sing, so I think I can sing.
So I was about to say, and it's the times where I sing along with his verses are the most memorable recordings because he swear he can sing.
Really?
And so he's always trying to tell me how to sing something.
Oh, okay.
And he can't sing, y'all. So it's really funny because that's essentially the entire session is like, I don't understand. What note is that? I don't know. What do you do it like what? What do you say? I don't get it. Wait, hold on.
You want to give us an example?
He the vocal coach.
It's like for keep on, you know, it's the twang in it. It's the way that we sing when we sing.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
So it's
now imagine. Now watch this. No, because this is how he be doing me. Okay, that was cool. Can you do it like higher? Like higher, like. You know what I mean? Like higher, like higher, louder, or higher note.
Just
and I'm
go
like,
higher,
and it's just confusion all around. So they're always memorable, but they always turn out so well.
But he's getting his Jimmy Jam material.
But that's the cheat code of being able to have a singer in the spirit of like the Fugees, right?
Yeah.
Where you have the MCs and then you have the element of someone that can sing a dual threat, singing and rapping, and then also just the tradition of groups in hip hop. We don't really see a lot of that.
Of course, yeah.
And then tying it back, you know, like People's Party, right? With Sav, you know, following my verse and keeping it Houston, you know, shouting out Trinity Gardens. So it's a lot of Houston stuff in here that if you're not from Houston, you may not be familiar with it, but it's giving the city character. Like when we hear songs from people from New York or LA, they shout out different things, and that city becomes like the fourth member. So for this album, Houston became like the fourth member of the group, and listening to, you know, like the statement of People's Party or with Alicia and how she's just, you know, in command, like her verse on People's Party is like, listening to it, it sounds angry a little bit, but it's more of like, get y'all together. Like, yo,
nobody's smiling.
Yeah, it's,
ain't nothing to smile about right now.
Yeah, but it's a celebratory piece, and it started off with the scheme of Sav saying a party, this type of party, this type of party, this type of party, you know, and then summing it, the black people party, you know, like really summing it up and shouting out PV, the tent parties. Just certain nuances throughout the album that are things that said that I think that in the tradition of Octavia Butler, how she'll write a book, and then she might write the book, and then later on you go back and you read it and say, man, she was ahead of her time, or you start picking up on certain things that start to happen. So just the manifestation of, it doesn't matter when it was written, you can play this at any given time, and it'll still continue. So, you know, for barbecue, we wanted to give people that good celebratory music at the barbecue.
Yeah, that's the cookout record.
During the cookouts, you got something to listen to and really be proud of.
Well, speaking of when people hear this, obviously the release is out now. What is kind of the future of this release, the future of what the group wants to do after this is now dropped?
I want people to really understand who we are as a group, musically and humanly.
Okay.
I want people to really invest in us as artists and what we do even outside of art. It's more than just, we're just rappers and we're just singers.
Right.
So I really want people to start with the music, definitely start with the music, that's the art, and really just take that journey with us and follow us as we continue to grow and evolve.
I agree. I think I'd like for people to listen to this project and really get a feel for who we are as a group, as a collective, but also kind of understanding who we are individually by listening to our verses and understanding like, oh, okay, yeah, like like you said, there are so many nuances in the way that these two write. Like they tap into stuff that I have to hit Google, and like I gotta go figure out like what in the world,
in the group.
like where, and I'm in the group, and they have verses where I'm like, yeah, this is not, you're not gonna listen to it once and be like, yeah, all right, we're good. Like, nah, you're really gonna have to digest the project, and I really love that. But also, I want, like he said, that I want to create more opportunities for people to get to know who we are, and I think we're gonna do that. You'll see more of that, more music too in the future.
Sav, it's another Peace of Mind baby. What do you think?
Yeah, they're all my babies, man. As far as all of the projects, even the individual songs, man. But just to reiterate, man, the Color Only project is a celebration of the Black experience, and for me, this album is the soundtrack to celebrating the Black experience. So this is timeless. You can always run this back. You know what I mean? It's always relevant. Right. It's gonna always feel relevant. And there was a time like when there was the movement around the George Floyd, tragedy during the pandemic, and actually we were working on some of the stuff during that time, and part of me wanted to kind of put it out. Then I was like, nah, this doesn't feel like the right time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I feel like this is gonna come and go. With the whole Juneteenth, dropping it on Juneteenth. Yeah. This is your soundtrack, not only for Juneteenth, but every day being your holiday. You know what I mean? And so there's always gonna be more to come behind it. The creativity never stops, and so we're just gonna keep keeping on.
And just real quick, can y'all talk about like the visual aspect of the album? Meaning the album cover is very interesting. It almost seems very basic, but at the same time, it seems like there's a lot going on the album cover as well. Can y'all kind of talk about the direction you want to go with that? Yeah,
man. So we used Ruben Levi, who actually used his daughter as well. So this is a project between him and his daughter.
Really?
Levi and I have been friends since high school. I'm not gonna tell you how many years that is. We've been friends since high school, and he's a very, very talented creative director, very gifted visual artist, and of course he's raised a very gifted visual artist as well. And so, quite honestly, when we were working on the music, I played some of the music for him, and he was inspired, and he said, I want to do the cover. Like, let me try some stuff. I want to do the cover. This would be, something fun to do. Right. And at somewhere in the process, his daughter also got involved. She's over there at Prairie View A&M University. Hey, Messiah.
Yep.
Super talented, amazingly gifted girl. She graduated from the High School for Performing and Visual Arts for visual arts. She had an amazing show. But yeah, to see their finished, like I had not seen it for a while, like, cause once he said he wanted to do it, like I connected him with Savvi, and I was like, hey, y'all go figure it out. And so once it was all done, and I saw it for the first time, I called him and I was like, this is so dope. Like, this is, like, he took, like you said, he took a million different pieces, nuances of who we are as a group, of what that project represents, and turn that into one cohesive thing that looks so simple, but is very, very complicated.
Right.
Appreciate you. Yeah, just to go back to the visuals, though, like the beauty of what Ruben Levi did, and one of the things I love about it is that, like, the album is titled Colored Only. So if you're not familiar with Jim Crow, that probably means nothing to you.
Right.
But being the title says Colored Only, but the actual visual is in black and white.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's basically monochromatic essentially, or just only a dual tone deal. So it's not showing a splash of a whole lot of colors, which the Hue represents. And so I just love the irony and the flip of it, just the color being just black and white, even though we're saying it's colored only. No. You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of a part of the genius of the artwork, and just that creative side that I see. I'm like, okay, that's like probably the ultimate representation of what we were trying to communicate. Yeah. Again, celebrating the Black experience. We're sitting here in all black today. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
it's really cool.
Well, shout out to him. Also, again, like I said, I got to say, big up to y'all just for creating songs, at least for the DJ. And I did want to ask, because Keep On is something that's very subtle, but people don't realize it. Scratching is not in songs a whole lot anymore, but in Keep On, who was
shout out to DJ Good Grief.
Good Grief.
Okay.
Good DJ Good Grief came through in the clutch. Man, he killed it.
Yeah.
He understood, like they say, he understood the assignment.
Right.
And Grief is a legendary DJ here in Houston. But yeah, he stepped up, and we told him, you know, the concept for what we wanted.
Yeah.
And he did it. Shout out Good Grief.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this, man. This is the perfect year for y'all to drop. Right now, there's a lot of good music from veterans. I think you guys have added to that. I like to call what you guys are doing investment music, meaning once again, if you're not hearing it on this date or the day it came out, you've got plenty of years to check it out and be enthralled in the music, be embraced by the music, have some sort of award from the music.
Yeah.
So I thank y'all.
Well, thanks,
Thank
man.
you.
Yes, thanks for sitting down with us, man, and having us. Yeah, this was a dope conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need more conversations like this.
And remember, you can get colored only on any of your streaming apps. You got any physical?
No physicals yet, but we're working on getting the vinyl pressed up. So be looking out for the vinyl coming soon.
Colored only.
Yep.
And they can find you guys where?
Find us at The Hue Life at TheHuelife on Instagram and all your social media handles. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, The Hue Life.
Well, this is The Hue, Savvi, Alicia Miles, Equality. Colored only. Get it where you can.